for some more r/no sleeps. So for this r/no sleep, we're gonna be reading "Don't Ride the Single Rider's Line at Disney Parks." Couple things. Do not mind my fan in the background. I'm sorry if you hear that. It's 7,000 degrees in my room right now. Oh, I should probably plug that out so that doesn't pop up on the screen. And everything that you see from what I read is from Reddit. Nothing is of my own, so yeah. Sorry, 1 second. Bugging the shit out of me. I know it's been a while. Well, I guess not been a while, but I just need to get all of these out of the way so I can focus on other things. And also because I don't have much to do for videos right now aside these. And I know you guys like me to read creepy stuff, so I got a lot of them lined up, so I might as well just get over some of them. So yeah, let's get right into it. Just want to warn you that this is long and all the names have been changed. I'm hoping this doesn't go over 30 minutes. If it does, I apologize. Okay. First off, I love my family very much. I have 3 aunts, 2 uncles, and 4 cousins by blood that are very close to me. So, of course, when my mother won the trip to Walt Disney World for 10, we knew we had to make a big family trip. We paid for my Aunt Bonnie and her husband Ron, Aunt Jean, cousin Audrey, Uncle Bruce, Uncle Dan, and Aunt Linda, but we invited everyone else to come if they could pay. My family is compromised by My family is comprised by doctors, engineers, stewardesses, and God forsake, my grandfather is an actual rocket scientist. They could absolutely pay. We planned ahead of a long flight and that landed in Orlando about the same time, and we got to adjoining rooms at the hotel. Altogether, we took up 5 rooms. Even though all my cousins are old enough to drink, Nathan, Audrey, and I played with the doors that connected our families' rooms. It was late when we got to Florida, and we didn't account for the 4-hour time change. So my aunts, uncles, and mom, who were all older, went to bed fairly soon after we checked into our hotel rooms. But my cousins, my sister, and I were all young in a Disney World hotel without parental supervision. I will admit we acted a little childish, but I felt happier than I had in a long time. We swam and we played rough in the pool. My cousin Nathan commandeered a luggage cart and raced us down to the hallways like a skateboard. We took a whole bunch of soaps from the maid carts and we didn't get caught. Sarah's being a bit of a mother hen, but she eventually lightened up and had some fun too. We were all laughing so hard that Audrey wet herself and she excused herself to go change, but when she came back, she looked different. It's getting late, and Sarah's right. We are being a little rowdy, Audrey mumbled. I think it's about time we go to bed. I checked my phone to see what time it actually was, and I think everyone else checked too. A big 12:17 a.m. glared at me. Whoa, yeah, we better be getting back to bed, Nathan said. He pushed us back to our respective rooms, and we vowed to meet up for free breakfast downstairs at 8:30. My sister and I got in, put on our PJs, and fell asleep, and didn't wake up until 7:56. I woke up to the sound of my sister screeching to my mother that she didn't have enough time to do her makeup and she wouldn't be joining us for breakfast. My mom was trying to convince her that she looked fine and their family didn't care what she looked like. I got up and started my morning routine. Who are you trying to impress? Goofy? My God, Mom, no! I started laughing quietly with toothpaste still in my mouth. Tip: never laugh with anything in your mouth, especially toothpaste. What if there's a cute guy down there? What if he's supposed to be my soulmate? We don't get to spend day at the park. It's our relationship because I look like one of those stupid monster things Caitlin watches on TV, my sister cried. I started to laugh harder because I imagined Goofy looming over behind my sister sitting at the breakfast table. Don't laugh at me. Just go without me. I'll catch up. She was insistent, and my mom eventually gave up. I sat down on the nice couch in the room and waited for my mom to finish getting ready. We eventually got down to the breakfast area around at 8:35 and met up with the rest of our family. I left to get my mom's food and make my own from the buffet area. I was waiting for the waffles to finish cooking when I noticed something black in the corner of my vision. Curiosity got the best of me, and I turned around to see what the shadow was. It was Mickey himself, standing a couple feet away from me, entertaining a table full of Swedes. It got colder blowing down from above me, which I assumed was the AC vent sending some Disney magic into the room. The waffle maker beeped, and I got the almost burnt waffle onto a plate, grabbed it as well as the rest of the food, and took it back to the table. By this time, my sister had rejoined us with our full Disney World ensemble of world ensemble on except the lipstick. I swear to God, she looks like an MAC worker who gets paid commissions. Came by and threw everything they had on her. She had her head tipped back even when she was eating, and no one could figure out why. Finally, my Aunt Bonnie ventured a question. Autumn, are you feeling okay? Hmm? Oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm just waiting for my lash glue to set. She was wearing fake eyelashes to Disney World. I should have known this is the kind of junk I would have had to put up with all the time. After breakfast, we went up to our rooms and grabbed up whatever we could need for the park. It only took us a couple minutes, but it felt like forever. I was so excited that I waited outside in the hallway for my sister and mother to finish getting ready. Luckily, Nathan and Aunt Bonnie were waiting in the hallway too, so I wasn't too bored. It seemed like once my sister emerged from the room, we were getting to the park in a matter of seconds. We were all giddy and eager to get on the ride, so we planned which one would be the best to ride first. Uncle Bruce suggested Jungle Cruise, and we all laughed, remembering the family story of him getting scared by Skipper wielding a gun on the original ride his first year of Disneyland was open. Like I said earlier, my aunts and uncles are older. We decided that Jungle Cruise was the best bet, so we got in line and looked up at the scenery while we waited. We got into the front line and packed into a boat. I was about to get on one when a Worko stopped me and said there was too many on the boat and I'd have to wait for the next one. My mom offered to wait with me, but I declined and told her to have fun. The boat with my family shoved off, and I was put into the empty single rider's line. The boat swung around in no time, and I got on. I was basically on the same. It was basically the same ride I loved at Disneyland, with a few major changes. I gazed in the amazement at the robot animals and live trees. I even looked down into the greeny water and only the green water and saw my reflection. I guess I looked too close into the water because I fell. I felt a hand on my back, but it was too late. I was already in the water. Now you might not think it's such a big deal, but those boats are on track, so are the animals. I couldn't see where I was kicking, and one mistake could result in my foot hitting a gear, and in the best case scenario. I thought I was just treading water, but I soon found myself downstream near the alligators. I was very scared, but I was trying my best to stay calm and not get any gross water in my mouth or nose. Soon enough, an empty boat came to pull me out of the water, and I was rejoined with a worried family. My mom took me back to our room so I could take a shower while the rest of our group went on another ride. While I was bathing, a man came to our room to speak with my mom. She had told me that she'd be right back, and by the time I got out and had fresh clothes on, she was. The man was from our legal team, and I worked out a compensation for my trauma. Our entire family vacation was now an all-exclusive with $200 spending money each. I guess you could say my mom made a good deal out of it. Thankfully, my mom had had my stuff when we went to the Jungle Cruise, so I just put my backpack on and went off to meet up with the rest of our family. Well, we found them fairly quickly with the help of some vague texts from my sister, more descriptive texts from my cousin Audrey, a park map, and a cast member. They were deciding what to ride next, and Uncle Dan was trying to convince everyone that we should ride the train. Not the train that went round the park. No, the Thunder Mountain Railroad train. No one wanted to go on the roller coaster right then, including me, so he said he'd go by himself and meet us up for lunch at the pizza place in Tomorrowland. We waved goodbye to Uncle Dan and went off to find another ride, and he went off into the back of the line. We decided to go to the Indiana Jones ride before lunch, which was a bad idea because half of our family got motion sickness. Uncle Dan didn't have a cell phone, so we had to wait for him at the meeting place, which would make people sick due to the food, or meet him at the ride. Needless to say, our group didn't want anyone throwing up, so we went to wait for him at the exit of the ride. We figured he had been gone for 45 minutes. Dan would either still be in line or on the ride, and we waited an hour, but still no sign of him. Our family was getting really worried. Some thought the line was longer than we thought, and some thought that Dan went back to his room without telling us. But the rest of the thought he went on to a meeting place. It was waiting for us there. We sent a small expedition team of my sister, my cousin Sarah, and my Aunt Jean and Uncle Bruce over to Tomorrowland to find our lost one. We waited another 15 minutes before we got the call that Dan was nowhere in sight. Frustrated and very hungry, my Aunt Linda went over to a cast member sweeping nearby and asked for help. She didn't get to finish before a shriek filled the air. That wasn't your normal. That wasn't your normal. Oh, I'm on a thrill ride. Wouldn't it be fun to scream? Scream. This was a. I woke up while they were doing major surgery on me. Scream. A deafening crack split the sky like thunder, except there wasn't a cloud in the sky. Everyone looked wildly around to find the source of the sound, but it seemed like it was everywhere. Someone pointed to a ride behind us with their mouth agape. I instinctively looked, and a train was falling out of the sky directly towards the track. We ran over where Aunt Linda was and stared in horror as the train screeched towards the ride, appearing to be on the train to crashing into a car that was already on the rails. I squinted my eyes, and just before the impact, the falling train stopped. It hovered for a second before gliding onto the exit platforms. We all screamed and we saw Uncle Dan emerge from the crazy train. He sauntered through the exit and rejoined us. "Hey," he said. "What's going on? Did something happen?" I was shocked. I didn't remember a thing. I texted my sister to let them know we found Uncle Dan and that we were coming over to the food place. We prompted him on our way over, but he brushed it off like we were playing a joke on him. I had a bad feeling about something, but I kept going because I didn't want to hold anyone back or miss out. Soon enough, we got our food and everything seemed to be more or less back to normal. I was halfway through my slice of pizza when I had to use the bathroom. I was still a little shook about the Jungle Cruise thing as anyone else would be, so I asked my mom if she can come with me. She agreed and we excused ourselves from the table. Surprisingly, there was no one in line for the women's bathroom, so I just went right in while my mom waited outside near the drinking fountain. You know, how you can sort of see the outside of the stall in between the cracks. Well, I was looking around, I normally do this when I'm anxious, and my eyes locked onto the wall vent near the sinks. Something black was coming out, but I couldn't quite make it out, like it was blurred out. I blinked a couple times to clear my vision, but the blurriness stayed the same. I kept looking at this bit of weirdness until something spilled out into the floors. It looked like the end of those cheesy Grim Reaper outfits kids wear for Halloween. This stuck a fear in me only I felt one other time, but I knew that somehow I couldn't let it know I was scared or even saw it. Trying to keep my cool, I called my mom in while I watched the thing coming out of the vent. As soon as I heard her footsteps on the linoleum, the vent creature evaporated like smoke. I got out as fast as possible. I was going to tell the others where the speakers crackled to life. "Attention! The park will be temporarily closed due to maintenance. We are sorry for the inconvenience." We packed up our food and headed to the nearest exit. I noticed while we were waiting in line to get a couple of guys wearing black shirts and khaki pants run from the front door out into the park. I think they were part of security because on their belts had guns. The line moved quickly after that, and soon enough we all had our hands stamped. We got back to our hotel rooms, and I took a nap while we waited for the park to reopen. My mom had woke me up after that they made the announcement that the park was open again, and I was ready to go back in a flash. When we got back in, one of the first things I noticed was there were ropes around the entrances to the single riders' lines. That's the end. I kind of feel like you left us hanging there. One thing that bothers me about the Disney World is that there's no Indiana Jones attraction in Magic Kingdom. Hollywood Studios has a live Indiana Jones show. I'm trying to figure out I'm so sorry I look all sweaty. It's really hot and I have my heating pad on because my back hurts. My first question is why in the beginning when she said when Audrey went to bathroom to change she looked different. Wait, is this did that black smoke goo thing have to do with this? Did she see it too, I wonder? I don't know. I'm very curious about what's going on and what the fuck was all about. I'm confused. What about the fucking the what's Jungle Cruise and why was that like that, It was interesting. I'm very confused. But I want to know what you guys think about this. So, yeah, I mean, hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you think about this down in the description. And hope you guys enjoyed. If you're new to my channel and you haven't subscribed already, be sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Also hit the bell so you're notified when I make videos, which daily. I love you guys, and I will see you guys later.